A jazz trumpeter, Dizzy Gillespie played with Charlie Parker and developed the music known as bebop. His best known compositions include Oop Bop, Shabam, Salt Peanuts, and A Night in Tunisia. Dizzy Gillespie, known for his swollen cheeks and signature, uniquely angled trumpet's bell, got his start in the mid 1930s by working in prominent swing bands, including those of Benny Parker and Charlie Burnett. He later created his own band and developed his own signature style known as bebop and worked with musical greats like Cab Calloway, Ella Fitzgerald, Earl Hines, Charlie Parker, and Duke Ellington. Gillespie's best known compositions include "Oo Bop Shabam," "Groovin' High," and "Salt Peanuts," "A Night in Tunisia," and "Johnny Come Lately." Today, he is considered one of the most influential figures of jazz and bebop. Dizzy was born John Burks Gillespie on October 21, 1917, in Cheraw, South Carolina. He would go on to become one of the most recognizable faces of jazz music, with his swollen cheeks and signature trumpet spell, as well as one of the most influential figures of jazz and bebop. When he was 18 years old, Gillespie moved with his family to Philadelphia. He joined the Frankie Fairfax Orchestra not long after, and then relocated to New York City, where he performed with Teddy Hill and Edgar Hayes in the late 1930s. Gillespie went on to join Calloway's band in 1939, with whom he recorded Pickin' the Cabbage, one of Gillespie's first compositions and regarded by some in jazz world as his first attempt to bring a Latin influence into his work. From 1937 to 1944, Gillespie performed with prominent swing bands including those of Benny Parker and Charlie Barnett. He also included working with musical greats such as Fitzgerald, Earl Hines, Jimmy Dorsey, and Parker around this time. Working as a band leader, often with Parker on saxophone, Gillespie developed his musical genre known as bebop, a reaction to swing, distinct on dissonant harmonies and polyrhythms. The music of Charlie Parker and me laid a foundation for all the music that is being played now, Gillespie said years later. Our music is going to be the classical music of the future. In addition to creating bebop, Gillespie is considered one of the first musicians to infuse Afro, Cuban, Caribbean, and Brazilian rhythms with jazz. His work in the Latin jazz genre includes Mantica, A Night in Tunisia, and Guachi Guaro, among other recordings. Gillespie's own big band, which performed from 1946 to 1950, was his masterpiece, affording him scope as both soloist and showman. He became immediately recognizable from the unusual shape of his trumpet with the bell tilted upward at a 45-degree angle, the result of someone accidentally sitting on it in 1953, but to good effect. For when he played it afterwards, he discovered that its new shape improved the instrument sound quality, and he had it incorporated in all his trumpets thereafter. Gillespie's best known works from the period include the songs Oop Bop Shabam and Groovin' High, as well as Leapfrog, Salt Peanuts, and My Melancholy Baby. In the late 1950s, Gillespie performed with Ellington, Paul Gonsalves, and Johnny Hodges on Ellington's Jazz Party. The following year, Gillespie released A Portrait of Duke Ellington, an album dedicated to Ellington, also featuring the work of Juan Tizol, Billy Strayhorn, and Mercer Ellington, son of the legendary musician. Gillespie composed most of the album's recordings, including Serenade to Sweden, Sophisticated Lady, and Johnny Come Lately. I would like to add that his nickname of Dizzy came from the way he acted on stage. In the final years, Gillespie's memoirs entitled To Be or Not to Bop, Memoirs of Dizzy Gillespie with Al Frazier, was published in 1979. More than a decade later, in 1990, he received the Kennedy Honors Award. Gillespie died on January 6, 1993, at age 75 in Englewood, New Jersey. Thanks for watching the final installment of Jazz Appreciation Month, tribute and salute to the great Dizzy Gillespie. Bye for now.